Okay, we're group 3, and our article is from ChatGPT to HackGPT, meeting the cybersecurity threat of generative AI. And we will be going over critical issues discussed in the article, what everyone can learn from the article, concepts from the textbooks related to the article and in what ways, how the organization has benefited from using information systems.
Some of the critical issues discussed in this article are traditional attacks are being replaced by smarter, more convincing, more targeted attacks driven by generative AI. A result of this would be like fabricated email chains are causing reputational or financial damage. Organizations must deploy their AI as part of an adaptive real-time defense system to keep organizations up to date. They need to build AI systems that detect anomalies in behavior system or system activity in real time. A fundamental transformation in cybersecurity technology, strategy, culture, and employee skill sets is needed as well. That's a critical issue. They need to train employees to think critically in dynamic threat environments. Another key critical issue discussed in this article is existing tools, policies, and security frameworks cannot keep up with the generative AI enabled adversaries. There's a pattern detection systems that rely on past attacks while AI attackers are innovating rapidly. One of the last issues that was discussed was human defenses are more the human defenses must become more adaptive, not passive or role based. Traditional training isn't enough anymore, and we need more knowledge on how to deal with these attacks. What can we learn from this article? Old cybersecurity methods, signature based tools, rule based training, statistic defenses are no longer sufficient against AI driven threats. Employees need to understand how attacks work so they can adapt to new situations, not just fixed procedures. Defense now requires smarter tools and smarter people. Technology alone is not enough. Organizations should run proactive AI driven simulations to imagine worst case scenarios and identify vulnerabilities.
Hey, what concepts from the textbooks are related to the article and what way? The first concept was artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the science of enabling information technologies to stimulate human intelligence. A big one in the article was hackers would use ChatGPT to create either phishing emails or messages that use more personal information, making them more believable. The example in the article that they used said ChatGPT can use a company's marketing material and phishing messages that had worked in the past to create these new ones so they could be more believable. And then AI in general, hackers can insert false data into other information system, makes it harder for the system to detect that something is wrong. Again, in the article, their example was how AI can essentially poison the information system, making a whole stock portfolio that they would be able to cash out from that the organization system thought was legit by the time they figured out it wasn't, it was too late. Another concept is deep learning. Deep learning is a newer neural network-based approach that uses multiple layers of processing elements called, they're referred to as neurons, to take features from input data. The big one in the article was deepfakes. Deepfakes are a combination of using advanced deep learning and AI techniques, usually with a malicious intent. Deepfakes can be used to impersonate voices of people you may know and get you to either give up information or do something for them. The example in the article was you get a call from your boss and they ask you to transfer money to account to pay an invoice. Um, So that's kind of how they lure you into that trap.
So how has the organization benefited by using information systems? So first off, one of the things they have benefited from using this is that the AI-powered systems can detect suspicious activity faster than traditional systems can. This was touched a little bit on when it was that the AI generated, like the AI-powered systems could learn about attacks that are newer and aren't documented as such. They can use those generative tools to like find new attacks. And one of the examples I mentioned is like intrusion detection and prevention systems. Because with those systems, you usually have to feed it in like information to like know like what attacks to kind of like patterns to look for and like suspicious activity. With the rate of technology and like AI, newer attacks are coming out faster and faster. So having a system that has AI so they can learn about newer attacks helps you stay safer as an organization. It reduces the opportunities for attacks to happen due to human error because these AI systems can prevent phishing attacks by, for example, blocking suspicious emails before they get sent out, which helps with phishing attempts from being successful because before that phishing email can reach a wide net of people in like an organization, the system can flag it and like capture it, so if it was like a legitimate email but it was blocked, it's just in that net. But if it was actually like a suspicious email, it was caught before anyone could actually click the link. Because all it takes really is one person to click that email and the attack's already successful with just one person. And this also helps the security teams by providing valuable information. As mentioned a little bit previously, those AI systems can learn about new attacks that aren't implemented in like an intrusion detection or prevention system. So these systems also provide teams with like reports on possible breaches and suspicious activity. And working with the AI system and not just using the AI system by itself, the teams can take actions to kind of work together with the machine because with that report they can actually see like, oh, this user is trying to access something they shouldn't, or oh, this user isn't even registered as like an employee, and they can actually take action from those reports. And what technologies get used? Offensively, the hackers use generative AI to make new attack strategies. This was touched on a little bit previously with ChatGPT and other models that are coming out like Gemini, Claude, Grok, etc. They can help in writing convincing phishing emails and messages. Like I mentioned, for example, that one with the boss that was trying to get money and like deposits. That's one of the things that ChatGPT is really good at. If you feed it like information, it can actually use your voice and kind of generate an email. AI chatbots and deepfakes is also talked about a little bit as well. These tools can impersonate employees and partners to deceive unsuspecting users. This is also becoming more and more prevalent because newer AI models have like video. The video is getting more realistic as it's improving year after year. So this is going to be more and more of a problem. It's still kind of in its infancy. It's still the videos are still realistic, but it's still kind of in its infancy. So it's gonna be just gonna get a worse and worse problem. And what I said here is without some form of AI being implemented, newer attacks could go undetected in a network because, as I mentioned previously, those usual intrusion and detection and prevention systems usually need like some form of like attack like information to kind of base their like look like their searches for. So it needs like actual information to base that off of. And then on the other side, defensively, AI can be used to protect ourselves from these attackers because that intrusion detection software in the networks with the AI, it can actually like discover new attack patterns just by analyzing like the data and the reports that get sent off to the users, and it can actually report things that aren't actually like documented in like the software. And we can use tools like GPT-0 and Zero GPT to see if messages are AI generated. This is a pretty helpful tool, just kind of as like a visionary glance to just like if you get like an email and it looks suspicious, you could run it through like Zero GPT and it can give you a rough idea of if an email is AI generated. And then AI can be trained to look for anomalies in specific locations to flag suspicious behavior. And I put an example here of like monitoring data access to look for unauthorized user, which I kind of touched on a little bit. Because if you don't have that going on and you just see reports and it looks like there's a user with an ID or like a username that looks legitimate, and to the naked eye it looks legitimate, you could be looking over a possible attack, like a penetration and possible attack. Thank you very much for watching this presentation. Please reach out to any of the three of us with our WIU emails if you have any questions.